Well, good evening.
Oh my goodness.
I really want to say let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, but I don't want it to let it snow anymore.
Right.
So I know where I'm at. I know you experience this out on the West Coast probably more than we do, but when we get it, it slaps, can I say, the ever-living shit out of us for a couple of days. So we had something planned for an episode tonight, but due to the fact that nothing is getting delivered to my house, probably for the next 5 days, let alone getting the trash picked up is a big deal in my town right now. I mean, we had to kind of, and I had some of the stuff prepared to do what we had planned in the freezer so I can pull out and I can make it. But the drink didn't arrive because it was being shipped to me and it didn't arrive on time because of the fact that we've been under snow and ice since Saturday morning. I'm in the Dallas, Texas area. Actually, so you know, I'm north of the DFW region and I'm like country. So, hey, if you think Dallas got hit, well, we're a little more wide open, so we got hit harder. There's no buildings to block what comes to us.
I have, we were supposed to have not only wine arrive to Tim at the same time, he was supposed to, I was supposed to have a guest, or we were supposed to have a guest.
Yes, yeah.
And she is flying to Europe tomorrow, and the first stop is Portland to Dallas. And so she's like, oh, how is that flight going to go? Because I remember getting stuck in Dallas one time. Weather was horrible, and it just made everything just that much more challenging.
Well, when it comes to flying, I will say this. When it comes to flying and weather, there is one city that I try to avoid flying into anymore, and that's San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
I mean, have you ever tried to fly into San Francisco in the morning?
It's
foggy.
It's been a little bit, but yes, I've flown into San Francisco as well as Oakland, but I think San Francisco is worse than Oakland.
No, San Francisco will get more fog, so you fly into Oakland because the fog will clear sooner in Oakland than it will clear in San Francisco.
Right.
But it's an airport that is affected by weather on a regular basis. Dallas, I'm going to tell you this about Dallas. If weather is affecting Dallas, all right, it's affecting the city, right? We get weather issues here that are bizarre. They're not like life-threatening, but they're bizarre. That's the truth about them. They're just bizarre. Like we get windstorms, all right, that, hey, Mark, yes, she is the queen, Mark. Yes, she is. All right, we're going to give her crown because she is the queen.
Hey, I have my crown at the office. I think I've shown it.
So we get tornadoes and stuff that comes through here. And I was on a flight back one October a couple of years ago. I want to say it's been about 5 or 6 years ago now. Yeah. Coming back from San Diego from speaking at a conference in October. And I remember as I landed getting a text from, this is before Craig and Natasha lived in Dallas, from Natasha Dustwall going, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, as the plane landed, I'm like, yeah, why? And then, they kind of updated us on the flight at what was happening. But as we were flying into the airfield, you could see where the lights were, but you can see this black strip that a tornado went through just north of the airport. And I didn't think much of it until I tried to drive home because I had to drive through where that black strip was to get home. And it was shut down. I had to go like 17 miles out of my way to get around that strip to get home. Yeah. It was just a horrible time, but that's weather here in Dallas. So basically we're experiencing some weather in Dallas, and I know a lot of parts of the country are kind of snowed in.
They are. Right. I was talking to two clients last week that both of them said, we don't know if we're going to be available next week, meaning this week, because one's in the Jersey area and the other one's in, I think, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And she said they have generators and they're getting gas, because they said, even if we can get to the gas station, if everybody's filled up, we don't know that they'll be able to get in to refill.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're not used to this kind of weather. And so they're like, if we lose power, we're going to lose Wi-Fi. And then, we'll have enough generation, or the generator will provide enough electricity for basic things. But when the Wi-Fi is down, the Wi-Fi is down.
Well, no, I can get Wi-Fi up if I can get power. I actually have 2 power backups. So this whole office community, whole office in here, everything in my studio.
Okay.
If I get hit with a blip, I have a power backup that keeps this entire office going for 2 hours. I have the same thing at my hub for the TV and internet. I got a 2-hour power bank to run for power backup. But I could run a generator to it, and as long as the thing is still coming through the internet wire,
okay,
all right, I can get access, and my internet wire is underground, so I'm not going to lose it. I just got to power up the modem. So, but so my issues here though with it was, like I fueled my truck up on Friday because I knew it was coming. However, I drive a pickup truck that is 2-wheel drive. My daughter has my wife's old car, which is front wheel drive. My mom's car is front wheel drive, and my wife's car is all wheel drive. My truck has not left the driveway since Friday.
Right.
I tried moving it around the driveway, and I can't move. It slips and slides. I'm like, my truck's not going anywhere.
Right.
Until the roads are clear. Like, I've gone out today twice. I went out yesterday once, and I went out Saturday once. Saturday, I went out as far as the donut shop a mile down the road. It was the only thing open. Sunday, we drove over to HEB, and I drove to a Kroger nearby that had an open Starbucks because no coffee shops were open. And then this morning at 10 o'clock, our local Starbucks opened up. And tomorrow they're opening, I think, 10 to 5 as well. Okay. But like, I'm probably still not taking my truck out tomorrow because the roads are still a sheet of ice. And the truck has no pickup. That's the downside of a pickup truck. The back end has no weight. And in this stuff here, you think it sucks on ice? Well, it sucks on ice when there's no weight to hold you on the ice.
Right.
It just slips. I'll probably take my mom's front wheel drive car tomorrow because I do have one meeting in town. But that being said, I mean, I wasn't able to do a lot of things. We didn't get the wine was the main reason why we didn't. But I thought about this. And I said to Gladys, I said, I still want to do an episode because I have power. I have internet. Can still do an episode. And I thought, when it comes to this, what do you have in your house? Have you ever sat and gone, well, this is what I have. This is what I can make.
Yeah.
We have we did it, and I'll give you the recipe here. This is one of our things we did was red cabbage and some sausage.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a great.
Show me.
Okay. It's a great slow cooker recipe that basically will feed you for a day and a half, or feed the family here. And my wife just sent me the recipe in a text. She put red cabbage, red onions, Granny Smith apples, some apple cider vinegar, some white wine vinegar, some brown sugar, salt, cinnamon, and then add water as needed. And you just and then cook the sausage up in a pan afterwards.
Okay. Well, you know what? I have all those ingredients here in my pantry and in my fridge. I have all.
All right. I mean, things I have in my pantry that I can cook. I always have like bread. So I always have bread, cheese. I can make toasted cheese sandwiches. Right. And I almost always have some sort of soup or tomato soup. All right. Or some sort of soup I can cook. And the thing about soups is even if I lost power, I can go out and I can fire up my grill, which I have gas, or I can fire up the smoker and I can put a pot on the wood box. And I can cook the soup and eat it. I can put a pot on it and slow cook stuff in the pot on the smoker all day. Yeah. And I've got food. Now, some things I want to talk about with drink in our house. This is like a wine we probably almost always have. Right? Okay. It's a Beaujolais.
Ooh, hold on.
Yeah. We should put this on here. This is one wine that Gwen and I almost always have a bottle, maybe 2 or 3, because it goes with Mexican food. It goes with Italian food. All right. It goes with a lot of different things. She made beef what's that? That beef bourguignon or something like that. It's called. She made that yesterday. And part of it is this in the recipe. Okay. But This other thing here is kind of out there because we always have it in our refrigerator for a reason.
Okay.
Always have a bottle chilled
Uh,
of some sparkling.
mm,
All right. And here, I realize this doesn't fit the podcast, but this does fit the reason why we do it. This bottle's chilled. I put it out of the refrigerator 3 minutes before we went live. The reason we always have it is we want to be able to celebrate at any moment in time. So we always have a bottle or two stocked of bubbly.
nice.
Always.
Yeah, you
All
never
right.
know when you have to celebrate something.
Well, here's why we do it. In 2014, when we lost my father-in-law, we found out at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. The police knocked on our door that late at night to tell us that he had died in the park. We did not have any bubbling in the house. And our theory is, and this is, please, this is my theory I want to pass on to you. When I pass, I want all of you to go break out a bubbly and celebrate my life. That is why we keep that in there, is to celebrate. That's not a moment. Yes, it's a moment of loss. I lost my father-in-law. I loved him dearly, but the man lived to be 80 some years of age. Let's celebrate that, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? And truthfully, Gladys, when I die, host this podcast and party on without me. Have a celebration drink on me. And that's why, to me, no matter what the weather is, you got to have a bottle of this in your refrigerator.
Yeah.
And this one here is just a rosé one I have. I have others, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I love La Marca. Well, one of the retreats I did last year, we had to write our own eulogy. Mind you, it's not the first time, but this time it was a little bit more intense, and we had to read it out loud. So part of the eulogy was that it was being read that Gladys, shows love by feeding. So all of you that got to taste her food. And then at the end it says, make sure she had one last, for you. And so all the food that's in the back, it's her recipes that she put together, so even in my deathbed, if you will, or my, being, celebration of life, I was feeding people. So that's just feed people.
This is Robert's opening. Welcome, Robert, by the way, to the show. He's have a drink on me.
All right. Make me look it up.
So Gladys, I know I sprung this idea on you tonight, but what did you have, all right, that you can kind of accent this subject? So
what I always keep, I got tuna and I got salmon and there's one crab. So they're all, and sometimes I'll get some very expensive crab or some very expensive salmon. But I also do the Kirkland albacore tuna that I have because that's something you can eat cold. So if you do lose power, you can eat it cold. So that's one thing I always have. Another thing that I thought, I always have corn. So I made corn. This one has corn, purple onions, cilantro, tomatoes, lemon juice put together. And these are things that 99% of the time I have on hand. So there's that. The other thing I always have on hand, usually not cooked, is shrimp. So I always shrimp because that's such an easy meal for me to make. Chips, and usually different types of chips. Tortilla chips are my go-to, but sometimes I have just plain old, Lay's or something like that. And then if I'm making the shrimp, I can cook them, or I can make my little cocktail sauce, which is ketchup and horseradish, other things that I always keep on hand because they're useful. This particular time, my neighbor had shared, because we wanted something seafood, crab cake. So I made a crab cake. And then the aioli that I made on here is essentially mayo, ketchup, dill, and the dill pickles. And then I put it on top. I had some green onions, which I was going to do, and lemon. So that's what I did here. But those are, some of the things that are always here. Now, in my cabinet, yes, I have plenty of wine. Somebody said, now we know if when the apocalypse comes, go to Gladys's. And I said, I will exchange wine for things that are very necessary, like eggs and bread, But one of the things that I usually keep on hand, something whiskey. So in this case, Buffalo Trace. The other thing that I've been keeping on hand is my bullet old fashioned for when I want to be old fashioned, but don't want to go through the process. And then of course some bottled water that I usually keep. So and then of course I have my little munchies up here, little snacks. So snacks are always good to have. I also have noodles. I always keep some type of pasta. But again, and that one's easy enough because again, you can boil water outside if you don't have power, and then make some pasta sauce. I always doctor my pasta sauce, but you know what? In a pinch, I will do out of a jar. Usually it's a marinara, which I then do my own thing. I'll add meat to it. I'll add more veggies to it. I'll add mushrooms or, do something different. So those are things that I keep on hand all the time.
Well, I want to talk about one of the things you brought up there was water. Mm-hmm. So in my out in my garage refrigerator, which is colder than usual because it's cold outside.
Right.
So my chicken's water was frozen up. So I went in and grabbed a bottle of water. Well, the bottle of water in the refrigerator is half frozen. What do you do? All right, here's just this what if. Okay, what do you do if your bottle of water are frozen? See, I have a refrigerator full of ice. And if the power cuts off, I'm going to tell you the first thing I'm going to do before I'm going to dip into my bottle of water is I'm going to melt the ice in the refrigerator. I'm cold outside. I'm really not going to need ice.
Right.
Anything I need at this point to freeze, I can stick out in the snowbank. Right.
Right.
So I'm going to melt the ice first because the ice is going to melt. So and it's made with purified water. So I'm going to use that as my water source first before I go to my bottled waters. And that's just using resources in the levels you have them. Now, freezer, you talk about freezer. There's the other thing is I've got a ton of small packets of meat in my freezer,
right? But
it's freezing outside. What's the chances I'm going to pull that out and I've lost power that it's going to thaw out faster? I'm going to have to cook it to thaw it.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, I was at my friend's house yesterday watching the game.
Yeah.
And it was kind of late. It was already 7:00 at night, I guess, or maybe 8. And then I usually don't do dessert, but I wanted a little bit of her ice cream. The ice cream was soft. And I'm like, your ice cream is soft. And her husband said, because the weather was colder than the temperature of the refrigerator. So then the refrigerator stops, or the freezer stops freezing. And so that's why it started. The temperature in the fridge was warmer, or the temperature in the freezer was warmer than the temperature outside.
Yeah. I know. And then I have a cooler in here where the temperature is, hold on a second. The temperature in my office fridge, because it's a beverage cooler, it's 35 degrees. So I keep that almost always stocked. I've got water into it. I've got my liquid death waters into it. I've got Dr. Peppers. I've got a few beers in there and some wines and some Prosecco. I know that refrigerator is not going to be as frozen as what's going on outside.
Right.
So
there was a few years back when we got really bad snow here, snowed in. That day, Buffalo Trace had been doing an event online. And so I had my bottle of Buffalo Trace. What I did is that I put it outside in the snow with 2 glasses, and then I took a picture. I sent it to them. They're like, can we use this? I said, absolutely, because it looks super cool. And then came inside and then went to the event, via Zoom. But that was probably 3 years ago. But yeah.
That wasn't back when you could have tagged it like the way you drink, was it?
No, I think it was prior to that. I'm pretty young.
The things that we would do now when someone says, hey, can we use your pictures? We would be like, hell yeah, tag us like the way you drink.
Well, this crab cake is absolutely delicious. You could probably get it if you're here in Portland at Taylor Street Tavern. Of course, my neighbor, he's the executive chef there, so sometimes I get some of this yumminess. And this is one that he had the bag and scooped up 2 of my, he made 2 little patties for me. One was supposed to be for our guest, so I only made 1 instead of 2. But all you have to do is brown it, and with panko. It was absolutely delicious. It's like a lot of flavor, and it's it doesn't have like all that sometimes bready, doughy stuff in there. This is just absolutely delicious. The corn salsa, just because, and then of course my shrimp. I decided, a little bit of Buffalo Trace with 1 small ice cube would work. We'll see how this tastes together, because this was not supposed to be with whiskey. This was supposed to be with sparkling.
Yeah.
We'll see how the. Ooh, that goes very well. I think the richness of that crab cake, along with the whiskey, it just has a good combination. Now, I did make my cocktail sauce a little bit too spicy, so we'll see if it tones it down. I have to put less on it because I don't know if you saw me earlier going like this. It hit my nose because that. What I did was that I added hot sauce on top of hot horseradish. Usually, if I get that spicy horseradish, I don't add more hot sauce because it's a little much, and this time it was a little much.
One of the things I was going to bring up. Okay, so if you're without power and you're cooking something like that, pulling it out of the freezer, but you want to use the idea of the microwave, which we don't have at this point. What do you do to cook them? How many of you have a steamer? So in other words, like you would normally steam your vegetables.
Yeah.
Well, take whatever it is you're cooking and put it in the steamer in a bag, in the steam section of it, all right, and then cook it. So it's not being soaked in by the water, but it's being cooked by the steam from the water. And that's a reheat process. That's not really, I wouldn't really cook that way. Like if I was doing a crab cake. But when I want to take a frozen crab cake and reheat it, I could do it that way. Probably if I had that same crab cake here and I was here without power, I would probably fire up the grill.
Right.
All right. And I would probably get my temperature on the grill to probably about 300, and I would probably cook that crab cake on the upper level. All right. Probably for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. I love having a barbecue. I'll grill in the when it's raining. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But usually I have a cover. Here I don't have a cover. So it's a little bit harder to barbecue when it's raining on the barbecue. Even though I have a barbecue cover, it's not covering everything.
You don't have a roof over your patio.
Correct.
Yeah. Which here at our house, I moved my whole outdoor kitchen area to my carport.
Okay.
To me, and this year I'm going to I actually burned some firewood here over the weekend, but I'm going to move my firewood out of the carport to an external area. And then I'm going to be able to, so I would have enough room in the carport to put a car in. And I have all my cooking set up out there. And the reason is because it's got the ventilation to be able to cook out there, right. And everything's under cover. Now I have to walk from the house to get out there in the cold. But if I'm grilling on the grill, all right, it's in and out for a matter of minutes. But when I'm smoking, like, over Christmas time when I was using the smoker, I'm out there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit outside in the open air for 3 hours. I want to sit with somewhere I have some sort of protection in case the wind kicks up. All right. I don't have a TV out there. Glad I don't today because it would be ruined. But I could sit out there and do something while I'm cooking.
The other thing I have here is I do have a wood fireplace. So I could, start the fireplace and that'll help. I close doors. I always have blankies. I always keep it not that warm in here anyway. So that's what sweaters and little hats are for, and my slippers, and my blankies. So those are things I keep on every bed. On my couch, I have a couple blankies because when I'm just chilling, I want to throw a blankie over me. I'll stay warm. And I've always been that way. I don't need to have it warm because too warm, I can't breathe. So I like to keep it a little bit on the about 60, between 65 to 67 is usually where I keep it. And then in my room, I usually keep it a little bit cooler because I don't like to feel suffocated at night. I'd rather be under the blankies warm than just not being able to breathe because it's too hot and then I can't sleep.
Which brings up a subject. Temperature depends on what part of the country you are in.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So your temperature in your house at night, all right, is what?
About 64.
64. Okay. In my house, it's 70 at night, 73 during the day. All right. And there's a reason for this. And I know I think Robert lives up in Canada. If I'm correct, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, but tell me, Robert, I'd love to know what your temperature is, what you do, because that's a different thing around the country.
Yeah.
All right. Whereas I think my mom wasn't feeling well through this storm. So I want to say it was in the upper 70s over in her house.
Okay.
Right. But here's the other thing I do is I have very warm socks on, regular pants. But when I had to go out and work the other day, the first day in the snow, I had to go out in the snow and I had to go out and brush things off and work outside, get the chickens clean. I mean, I had my what do they call them? I had my overalls on with long johns and a sweatshirt underneath, all that stuff. And then I had my jacket. So I have my Carhartt. It's right here. I've been in and out with it several times today because of what I have to do to keep warm.
Right.
In the house today, I've got my jeans on and I've got this hoodie. By the way, shout out there, Craig, for you for Thread. All right, for Thread. But yeah, it's a nice warm hoodie. And truthfully, I'm over sweating right now. I'm hotter than I really want to be. All right. But it's kept me warm. Mm-hmm. I got to keep the core warm because I've had to go in, out about 4 times today. And the temperature here rose to about 30, mid 30, like lower mid 30s, like 33 to 35 all day. Tomorrow it's supposed to be closer to 40.
I think it was 40. We had 42 was our high, I think, today. Let me look.
Yeah.
Today, 48. 48 was our high. 28 was our low. Tomorrow, our low will be 32 with mixed rain and snow with a high of 49. Yeah. And then Wednesday, when I head out to Austin, 100% chance of showers, but it doesn't say anything about mixed in snow. It'll be 40 degrees on the low, 51 on the high. So going to Austin, I was told, they're like, oh, it'll be in the 50s. Just dress in layers. And I'm like, so dress like I'm in Oregon, pretty much, because that's what we have to do in Oregon. It's all layers. Because if one is too much, you just, peel off layers. When I run, it's depending on the temperature. And I always look at the temperature. And one morning I was ready to go and I looked at the temperature and it was like 33 degrees. And I go, oh, one more layer. And so I put on my little run jacket and that was perfect because I figure I can always take it off, wrap it around my waist if I get too hot. But when it's 32 degrees, 33 degrees out, having the long shirt, another, a short sleeve shirt, sweatshirt and a jacket with my little beanie and my glove, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what it is that the weather is. So dress for the weather. When a lot of runners says, how do you all do it? It's like, well, you just dress for the weather. And ice up, and I have my little spikes that I put on my shoes. That way I don't slide all over the place. But it's all about, sometimes I'll start a race when I'm cold, but I know, hey, it's 51. I'm cold right now, but once I start running and by the time I finish, it'll be 60 degrees. I don't need those extra layers. I'll warm up. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's just about moving around to get that warmth going. But yeah, once I get cold, my back is cold, then it takes me a minute to get out of that.
Do you ever, because you don't want to do it to where you sweat, and then the sweat makes you wet and cold.
Yes. So again, it depends on the clothes because you don't want to wear cotton when you're going to be sweating. That is the worst thing you can do. If you're going to get wet or you're going to be sweating, don't wear cotton. That'll just it's going to absorb it and keep you cold. And number 2, it's not going to whisk it away. It's just going to add weight. Yeah.
So,
I have to tell you. So my brother, I think it was either yesterday or Saturday. I can't remember the day. It was probably Friday or Saturday. He says, brr, because it was 51 or 52 degrees in Ventura, California, Southern California. And then he shows a picture of the weather up here at 34. So for him, 51 was too cold. And I'm going, you must be feeling the way I feel at 34, where it's too cold. But 51 for me, I'm like, I'm good. I can handle that. But I've been up here for 14 years. So 34 degrees, just dress for the weather, put on the gloves, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, when I moved to Dallas in 1998, I remember I moved here in December of 98.
Okay. So you already knew the worst weather you were going to get.
I came from Philadelphia, which, I mean, I came from the fact that I knew in Philadelphia every year. I'm going to get snow and ice no matter what.
Mhm.
But I came down here and I remember one of the first couple of weeks I lived here. I had lunch one day with the pastor, a music pastor from my church at the time, and he'd moved here from Tennessee, and he had to talk to me. He said, "Tim, here's what the weather in Dallas is like." And in since then it's changed, but he said, first year you're here, you love it. Second year, you're still going to be bragging to everybody how you can walk outside without a coat. He said, but you're going to accumulate to our weather. You're going to maculate to our weather. And this is true. I brought up the temperature thing. He says, after you're here 5 years, you will walk outside one morning and it'll be 50 degrees. All right. And you're going to go, oh my God, I need a heavy coat. He's right. Because you acclimate to where you are at.
Yeah.
All right. In a regular temperature. It's why when I lived in Philadelphia, my temperature was 65 to 68 at home. Here it's in 70s. Why? Because my body is used to higher temperatures because it's warmer in the summertime, right? Now, the thing about Dallas, it happened over the past 25 years, is we've got a lot more humidity. It wasn't as humid when I first moved here in the summers as it is now.
Like, oh my goodness, yeah, the last time I was there, I was dying. I was like, I am sweating. For me, it was so hot because I'm not used to it. But yeah, it changes. Last year, I'm like, I think I need to replace my jackets. So I got like 4 new jackets that I love, in different colors because I want to match what I'm wearing. Whereas before it was just a white jacket. I had my one gray coat and then my white jacket for when it rained. And that was it. Now it's like I have 2 different black ones depending on the weather. I have my thicker one and my thinner one. Then I have a long blue one. And then I have my tan one that I took to Iceland and Scotland with me. And in Iceland, I have more layers than in Scotland. Scotland, my jacket without being zipped up was perfect. And here, it's like it was good for the weather here. So you learn to buy the jackets in the area you're in that are going to accommodate that weather. So it's just different. It is.
I have one of those puffy ski type jackets that I got on the East Coast when I went for my cousin Ashley's wedding. It was in February, and we got there, and there was a sudden drop, and we didn't have any warm clothes, so we walked to the Target across the street and got warm clothes. But now that when we moved up here to get the house from the condo, we get a lot more cold air come around. So like the winds come in. I don't have a bunch of buildings blocking it.
Right.
So I've got a wide open space. That's when I went and bought, this is my outdoor work jacket. This is a Carhartt, very, very good. Like you've seen the guys on Yellowstone. This is the type of jackets that the ranchers would wear because it breaks the wind and you can go outside and work in it.
Yeah.
I have a dress coat that I wear. Oh, is it back here? No, I hung it up. I'm sorry. Like most of the time you'll see me with a vest on and that keeps the core warm. Right. But I have this nice dressy coat that basically I'll put over anything and it'll keep me warm enough to go in and out of buildings. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to wear it to go feed the chickens because it's a nice coat and it won't keep me warm that long. Type deal.
My mom, I had vests for her because she would have her undershirt, her blouse, her vest, then a sweater. And when she was going out, then a jacket, her little hat, so my mom had layers, so I always kept her warm, but yeah.
I did have, and I think I took it off before we went live, but I had this on because I just came in.
Yeah, I was like going, is it that cold? Did you lose power?
I listed literally had just came in from tightening up the chicken for the night here as it was getting dark. So yeah. But yeah, and I had it on when I first went on Craig's call today at noon. I had it on because I'd just come back in from the chicken. And really I spent a couple of minutes with it on my head because I'm not warmed up from being back inside yet. All right. And I literally just came in like 2 minutes before I come in and turned on. So,
well, I have hats and beanies. I got all different colors, all different styles. I have a peach one. I have a black one. Actually, I probably have like 2 or 3 black ones, gray, tan, with little brims, and just, different ones, just because, depending on what I'm wearing, I want to have something that's going to cover my head. Although the one thing with me is that I usually don't wear a hat. So I have hat hair. So as soon as I get to the car, I take off my hat. And then when I'm getting out of the car, I put it back on. As soon as I'm in the office, I take it off again, because otherwise my hair will just black.
Well, I knew the cold was coming. So you know what I did? I went and seen my barber. Don't have to worry about it during this weather bunch. Because I'll have normally and I was going to grow it out again. And I'm like, you know what? I am not going to deal with fixing my hair under a hat for 4 days. I'll just go get it cut off again. Anyway.
There you go. For me, I would have been thinking I want to keep my head warm. Therefore, why cut the hair? But I get it. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, yeah, it is. But anyway. So tonight's episode, guys, is just basically about what you're going to do to survive in those winter months. All right. Number one, this is just going to give some pointers, I would say, is come up with meals that you can put in a crock pot and cook. Mm-hmm. And then you dish out of it. This red cabbage, and sausage. Now, really, I could take very easily, could go grab some ground beef. And I could fry up ground beef and add to it. I could chop some hot dogs up and put into it. I could, I could easily, fry a chicken and chop up and put it. I could add almost anything to it, but the base was cooked and the base was the cabbage. All right. And, the onions, the red cabbage. Chili is another thing. We had chili on Friday night. We cooked chili. Basically, chili is you can grab and throw a bunch of stuff in the pot, let it slow cook for the day. Yeah. And that's another one that we did. Gwen did the beef bourguignon, and it's that what's that lady from Paris, France? The cook, Julia Childs. She did a Julia Childs beef bourguignon, whatever it is that Julia does. And it's great when we do it. All right. And she asked me yesterday, well, what do you want with it? And she said, I can do potatoes, which we have some baked potatoes still left. Okay. I can do rice, or I can do egg noodles. And I'm like, egg noodles.
Ooh, egg noodles.
Mm-hmm. And basically those egg noodles, because the juices that were in the bottom of it, I kept pouring the juices and the carrots over my noodles. And that alone is filling enough to where now you can share the beef with everybody. Yeah.
I liked all the stuff that I brought out.
Mm-hmm.
It all tasted yummy. It went well with the buffalo trace or the old fashioned.
I mean, but I do usually keep like some snacks. So my snacks that I had this time, of course, I got a bottle of bags of chips. All right, crackers. Believe it or not, I had like what the store would call like they used to call them Lunchables, but like a little charcuterie type stuff that you can get in a Lunchable type packet. Mm-hmm. You have some cheese, you have some crackers, you have some nuts, things like that that you can snack on. Pour a glass of wine, all right, and it's a great snack. The problem with snacking is, and the weather is, if you know the weather's coming, and this is what people do. I don't. I try not to do this. They know the weather's coming, so they go to the grocery store on Thursday. The weather storm hits by Saturday. Well, Friday night, they were sitting here and they were bored going, well, we're not going out. We can't afford to go out because we just bought all these groceries. So what are we going to do? We eat all the snacks on Friday night, and now we have none through the weekend. You gotta get small batches of snacks that you can put in different areas so that you don't overeat, right? If you overeat, then you're only going to hunger yourself if you burn through buy food and balance your food out. That's where the stew type substance balances your food out. I would never, in a storm like this, cook out steaks and potatoes like I normally do.
Right.
Why?
No.
Because a heavy meal that's going to make me want another heavy meal in 3 hours.
Yeah, you got to have that comfort food, the one that's just going to fill you up, make you feel cozy and comfy at home.
Yep. And then when it comes to your drinks, this is why we have a wine rack, ladies and gentlemen. It's why I have the same thing. I've got 3 bottles of Buffalo Trace I can see from here. All right. You got to keep stuff. You got to keep stocked, right? Yeah. I'm always stocked. All right. I stopped on Friday, added some more vodka to my list. I still have tons of. Gwen's like, well, get another bottle of whiskey. I'm like, Gwen, I've got like 14 bottles of whiskey here. What do you want? Right. Well, I don't want. She goes, I don't want to tap into your good stuff. I'm like, Gwen, my company pays for all this. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening because you support my alcohol problem.
Right. Yeah, and the funny thing is that I do have some very expensive whiskeys, scotches, wines, and I don't break into them as much as you would think. I have my go-to lesser expensive items.
Yeah.
With wine, because I know that if I open it, I have 3-4 days max.
Max to finish it.
Yeah. And if I don't, it's going to become cooking wine. Well, if it's an $80 bottle of wine,
that's an expensive cook.
Yeah. I mean, I will add an $80 bottle of wine into my cooking if I'm cooking.
Again.
And then we're going to put it, and then I'm going to have a glass of wine. I'm okay with that. But I don't want my wine to go bad. It doesn't go bad. It just becomes cooking wine. This is one of the reasons why we have this. Okay, so this Beaujolais, guys, is maybe, I think, $7 to $10. Okay.
That's a very inexpensive wine to open up. All right, in a case like this, I always have probably a $10 Sauvignon Blanc in my refrigerator. You know what I mean? They're not expensive. Those are things that you have at times like this that you know you're going to open. All right. If it's a $7 bottle of wine, you don't care if it's going to be added to the food next week.
Yeah.
But if it's a $150 bottle of wine,
no,
you're not going to open it for one occasion.
No. And I'm telling you, I will cook with that $100 bottle of wine, whatever it is, a half a glass or a half a cup or even a cup, whatever. But I know that I'm going to drink the rest of it, and you're just enhancing the flavor because it's this deliciousness.
Yes.
If you have good wine in your food, it's going to be delicious. I just don't want it to turn into cooking wine because now I feel like I'm wasting this.
Yes.
So I do have my couple of bottles. I mean, there's one here.
So I mean, I have in my wine. I'm gonna probably one of these days move my. Oh yeah, Mojo. That's yeah.
Yeah, and then Erath is yum, but this is one that I'm not gonna get upset if it turns into both of those are cooking wine. But and then with my alcohol, I also have my go-to whiskeys that I'm okay with drinking. Whereas my more expensive ones, I'm like, those are when I'm really feeling like, you know what, I deserve a little bit more. I'm not opening my expensive whiskey. Oh, it's like Angel's Envy. Angel's Envy is not a cheap whiskey or bourbon. I'm opening that when I'm making, you're here. All right, Craig's here. We're having a party. I'm gonna make whiskey sours, or I'm gonna make old fashions for everybody. Right.
But if I'm drinking here by myself, I'm probably gonna have and it's not a cheap whiskey, but it's a good whiskey, is right there. Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace, I'm gonna have no matter what. I love it. Yeah. It's a great, and it's not expensive. It is very, very inexpensive, quality product for the price point.
Yeah.
So, but what else am I going to say tonight? I don't know.
That was our main thing. You know what? Because we switched it up on all of you, on us too. So here we are.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry. If you look at the comments, I'm going to do this and I'm going to call it out. You know what I'm going to do. Dude, we do not do Fireball on this episode. We do not do Fireball on this episode. On this.
Please no.
And the reason being is there's tons of other cinnamon whiskeys out there.
That are good.
Fireball is not ours. Fireball, I'm sorry if you listen, we don't like your whiskey. It's okay.
Chemical.
There's people who do like it.
Yeah, it's chemically flavored. Yeah, it tastes like chemicals. No, thank you.
And I should watch that because we do have this on YouTube, but Craig was telling me today about something he put up on YouTube that basically got flagged and said he was flagged saying he was what was he saying was mean or something like that or
no.
And I'm like, I'm not cutting down Fireball. We're never going to have it on this episode. There's not I've tasted Fireball products. I have not found a Fireball product that I like.
Right. We've mentioned them. We've just not drank them on the episode because there's
also been schnapps that we won't have on this episode.
There's that.
So we just like the way we drink and we find good things. And even like you showing the Buffalo Trace, it's not expensive. It's just good. It gives that good feeling, good flavor.
Right.
It's not something that messes with my system. All right. Just like this wine. This wine's not messing with my system. It's a good wine. All right. And this bottle will be finished probably in 2 days max.
Yeah.
Gwen and I will finish it around the house.
There you go.
I literally just opened it before the show. So
there you go. Yeah, that's what you need. 2 to 3, maybe 4 days at max. And then it's cooking wine. So keep that in mind, y'all.
Now I do have a bottle of wine on my rack that I've probably held for more than 10 years. That I'll bet you I paid 10 years for it. I bet you I paid over $100 for that bottle of wine. And it is from our favorite winery. It is from Saddleback Winery and is a special limited edition. And I want to say it was their 25th anniversary, which now they're on their 35th anniversary. But we kept it. And we just have there's got to be something special to make us open that. Yeah. We don't know what it is yet.
Right.
But when we have it, we're going to let you all know that we opened it, because it is not a cheap bottle of wine, but we also have had that batch, and we've had that recipe. I don't want to say that recipe, but that I don't know what they call it, not that vintage, but similar wine, but it was not that special premium blend that's why that premium blend we're saving for a special occasion, and we don't know what it is yet. So
let us know when that comes.
Yeah, and those are wines you have on your rack. I'm not opening them up in weather like this. I'm not opening them up.
Yeah,
because I know I'm not going to finish them. That's something that literally I'm going to have a full table of people to share with. That's not Gwen and I drinking the whole bottle.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So anything else you got in closing, girl?
Y'all, let us know what are your favorite things to drink. How do you handle when you're stuck in weather?
Yeah, Lily, I'd love to hear you guys. Wait a minute. And if you were stuck in weather this week, because I know a majority of the country is stuck right where I'm at right now. Yep. All right, please tell us your stories. I'd love to hear your stories and hear you share. All right, because this is why we do the show, to talk about these things.
Yep.
So. Anyway, our show every week, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by Gladys and I's businesses. All right, we are trying to build a community. You can go to likethewayyoudrink.com. We have we're calling it the Insiders Club right now, but we're not sure we're going to name it. But that community is people we want to share drinking and experiences with. All right, and so we are now talking to restaurants, and we're talking to people who do tours and stuff around the country, and that's what that community is going to be about, is coming to do those things with us. Go to likethewayyoudrink.com, sign up for our list. You must be 21 to join. Our businesses pay the bills around here, ladies and gentlemen. So we do a pitch every week for our businesses. When we're not hard selling, it's a commercial. That's what pays the bills around here. So with that, all right, we always start with Gladys because she's the female in the group. Gladys, tell us about your business.
Thank you, Tim. Gladys Boutwell Insurance by Design, helping you become employer of choice by providing employee benefits. There's 101 different ways that you can show your staff how much you care about them. And when you show them how much you care, they're going to stick around. They're going to take care of your clients, which means repeat business and referrals. So go to insurancedesignpros.com. On the upper left there, you can do a download of the 101 different ways. However, if you want to go into a little bit more depth, you're not sure, how am I going to implement any of this? Go to my calendar, which is enrollnetoregon.com. Let's have the conversation. Even if I cannot help you in the state you're in, guess what? I probably know a broker that can. That's insurancedesignpros.com and enrollnetoregon.com. This is Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design, and this is my co-host.
Thank you so much, Gladys. My name is Tim Gillette. I have Simple Easy websites. So I've had the brand over the past 6 years of Simple Easy Marketing and Simple Easy websites. I am currently in the process of launching something. I've been a business coach and I've been an entrepreneur coach for the past 16 years now. Okay, but wow, another year went by. Believe it or not, Gladys, another year went by.
How are you getting older? I don't understand.
I don't know. Yeah. For 16 years, I've been a business coach and I've been an entrepreneur, helping the artistic entrepreneur build systems that actually build them cash flow and results. I've got something new coming up, guys, and I don't have the website up here to put up here, but I'm going to tell you what it is. If you're listening on the audio, you can go type it in and you can get on the pre-launch list to know what we're doing. All right. It's called gearshiftmethod.com. Go to gearshiftmethod.com. something new coming out. All right. Not going to give you all the details, but I want to tell you about it. In the meantime, I do host the website company, Simple Easy Websites. You know somebody who's an artistic entrepreneur who needs their website, who needs someone to help put systems in place. Have them reach out to me, do a website consultation. I would love to help them with a solution to help them get results. SimpleEasyWebsites.com. What else we got, girl? Anything?
No, we're going to see you all next week with a surprise as to what we're going to be sharing.
No, we'll know in about 5 minutes, but you guys will find out next week.
That's right. But tune in. We appreciate you all being here today, and hopefully you're not snowed in, but if you are, you know what? Find a delicious cocktail so that you can thoroughly enjoy it.
Pull up the fire, all right. Put a log on the fire, pour another thing in your drink, or another drink in your cup, all right. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.